Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back. So last video I promised that I would make a PvP video if I was higher level, but I didn't really want to do a video where, you know, basically it's like a gameplay video, because then it would be too much, because I already made one last time. So this video I want to talk a little bit about PvP defense in different tiers. This will be more of a guide video. I will still be going and hitting some people as well. And this week I am actually higher ranked. Right now I'm currently ranked 43. Yeah, currently ranked 43, so you should probably see me if I just scroll all the way down. You'll be able to find me here. But yeah, I'm gonna be talking about the PvP defenses of, I guess we'll talk about like the like top 100 tier first, and then I'll kind of go down and talk about different monsters that people use for PvP. At the same time, I will also be going in and doing some fights as well. I think my defense is pretty good. It is a full dark defense. I do have, you know, pretty good gems on my monsters, and they do win most of the time, as you can see over here. So it's actually pretty nice. They do draw sometimes, like draw. I think draw kind of counts as your win, because they waste a ticket and they can't like they either have to try again, or yeah, you don't lose points if they draw, so which is good. But a lot of times if they do draw, they usually come back and try to fight you again afterwards. I think I've been getting a lot more draws because my defense is like pretty defensive. I used to run like 3 Dark Mihos instead, and that actually does a lot more damage because it has a lot higher threat. I'm able to actually kill some people before they can actually, before, like, it's not going to end in a, you know, both sides healing type of thing. It's probably going to end with someone dying. So yeah. Alright, so I'm just going to be doing a few fights. We'll just go in. Crap, I forgot to do that random battle. Oh shit. Alright. So I want to talk a little bit about defense, about setting up your defense and going in and hitting some people. I think this person's pretty high tier. Currently, yeah, rank 1. So we'll go in and do his defense. We'll fight his defense, and I'll talk a little bit about it. So this is a full light dark defense. Full light defenses are very, very popular, and these 3 monsters are actually obtainable. Well, actually she was obtainable a while ago, but the Shiva you can get from fusion, so a lot of people do have him. To get him at Evo 3 you do need like multiple Shivas, so that's actually a little bit hard. But the Odin is a contract monster that you will be able to obtain at level 45, so a lot of people have her as well. The hard part is actually getting a variant Odin, because getting a variant Nat 5 is very, very difficult. I only have 1 variant Nat 5, it's my Wood Nightmare. And if you don't have her as a variant, I think some people actually spend money and buy the pack where you can get a variant Gleam, feed it into your Nat 5 and make it a variant. Some people actually do that. So usually when I'm going in, I kind of run aggressors at higher tier. Using attacker comps basically gets countered, because this a light defense usually is used to counter attacker comps, because attacker comps, although they have elemental advantage against light, light also has elemental advantage against dark. And you want to be able to, you know, if you're lucky, try to kill someone on turn 1. You want to basically have a monster that's able to survive like 2 nukers on turn 1, but also at the same time be able to not die as well. Like, well, not die. Also be able to kill them like on turn 2, like when it's your turn 1. So monsters like aggressors like Light Odin, Dark Miho are very, very strong. And then this Light Succubus is basically there as a bar booster to try to get the Light Shiva to get his nuke off. Basically the Light Shiva, what he does is when he actually does get his second skill up, I do actually have one as well. I use him for clan defense, I don't use him for PvP defense. My defense is a little bit different. I use a full dark team instead, with a lot of dark monsters, because I happen to have them. My team's actually harder to get, because my monsters actually have to be summoned from light dark eggs. But Shiva is basically, I have mine on triple life. Shiva is basically a monster where if you get his second skill off, he will pretty much one-shot almost all dark attackers. Like, it's GG by the point, by the time that he gets his second skill off. Against aggressors, maybe not so much. Even dark aggressors. And my dark monsters that I'm running here are also very, very tanky. So if he does actually get his second skill off, it's not that much of a threat. So basically what he's trying to do is he's using these two monsters to force you to try to force you to have to take them out first, or else you're taking a lot of damage. But at the same time, you can't leave him alone, and there's no point hitting her because she's also a light succubus is also very, very tanky. As you have one as well. Where's mine? Where is my light succubus? You'll see she has very, very tanky base stats. Wait, I have her as a variant, so she should be over here. Yeah, I'm just blind. Yeah, she has very, very tanky base stats. I have her on a life set, and that's why her HP is super, super high. Like, this is extremely high. Her base defense is also relatively high, which means that her damage reduction if you hit her, you know, without armor break is gonna, it's gonna reduce a lot of damage, which means that you don't really want to aim for her first. She's kind of too tanky for that as well. So, so you kind of ignore her. So your only choices are to take out these two first, but kind of leave the Shiva open, and then if he does get his nuke off, then you basically lose. So if I go in with a dark attacker comp, I basically get countered. I can't really fight him. However, his comp is not that strong if you're running an aggressor comp. So if I run a comp like this, it's a little bit hard for him to kill me. And also I can, if I really need to, I can also run a run 3 aggressors. I don't have to run my Siren. I'll run my Siren first. We'll see how it turns out. This comp I'm using on defense is at the same time. When you're at the higher tiers, you can't really... You used to be able to use attackers, but now it's a lot more difficult because there's a lot of really strong light monsters that counter. And also with the Mihos, with their buffs and everything. Oh, I think this is the costume, right? Yeah, this is the costume Miho. Alright, and he probably has another light monster with a pretty threatening first skill on hidden over here. So what we're gonna do is we're going to actually... There's two ways that you can try to beat him. One is you take out the Shiva really fast, and then you just basically face tank the Odin and the Miho. The second is you try to take out one of the Odins or the Mihos really, really fast. I think the correct choice actually right here would be to all focus the Shiva, because even if you take out one of them, he could be hiding a second aggressor. Maybe it's like a Light Sean, or maybe it's another Dark Miho or something like that. Something with very, very high threat on first skill. And Shiva at that time will also have his bar full, and you don't want to be taking all that damage at the same time. So it's actually a lot safer for you to take out the Shiva first, even if he's healing back. Now the advantage with you know, going on arena offense versus defense is, see, I knew it, he had a second Dark Miho. So even if it would actually be the wrong choice, because if you try to kill the Light Odin or try to kill this Dark Miho, a second Dark Miho would pop out. This Light Succubus would be buffing the bar of the Light Shiva, and the Shiva would actually get his AoE off all at the same time, and that actually is like a lose condition for you. But now, since I was able to kill the Shiva, this Succubus is kind of not really useful. She has no threat here. So at this point, it's almost as if it was 4v3. Now, the only thing that could possibly make me lose at this point is if one of the Mihos get their bars full and does a nuke. And this one, since she has half bar already, I'm going to focus her and try to do some damage to her. Now, Light Succubus is a healer. She has her bar full. This this Miho also has her bar full, but the good thing is one of my healers also has his bar full. So I will be able to shield up and kind of save my Siren from dying. And also the Siren has a passive heal, which will be able to top up my Cupid, which means that I actually won't be in any immediate threat, even if they both nuke. Now this Succubus probably is going to heal the Miho for quite a bit. So I think that was a Pugilist stun. I'm going to heal up with Siren, and also put up Dominance, because the Odin already has her bar full, so I want to actually try to stop her from healing. I'm going to use Dominance to reduce her bar. Dominance is basically just like SP steal, or it doesn't steal it, but it reduces it. It's kind of like Thirst actually. So if somebody has the Dominance buff on, and at least one of them has their AoE, it can stop any other monster from ever getting their second skill off, which actually is very, very strong. That's actually what makes the Dark Siren also quite strong on offense as well. And then now I put up Dominance again, and then one of my other monsters still has her bar full, so this Succubus isn't able to heal because of the Dominance. And then I take out the Odin. Man, I should get my Miho some costumes. I'm considering it. I'm this close. Alright, I'm this close. Yeah, Dark Siren's super OP. Like she's so strong. I think I actually got hit in that time while I was doing that fight. Yeah, she lost twice. Indra's really strong on offense. Yaksha's quite strong on offense as well. Alright, so that's pretty much like, I think that's what you consider like highest tier PvP. He is like, you know, actually rank 1 right now. So that was his defense. I was actually able to show it. We were lucky enough right after the refresh to be able to get him. Now I want to talk about a few monsters that a lot of people use in like highest tier defense. This probably isn't relevant to everyone, but I'll actually go down and talk about certain monsters later on. And also I'll also try to crack their defenses with an attacker team. But it's most likely going to get countered because most of these teams are built to counter attacker comps. The unique thing about my comp is actually I can fight aggressors relatively well with this comp. And attackers actually do a little bit better against me. You might find so people running like the Seether comps, people running the Gatito comps actually do a little bit better against me because I'm not running any light monsters. But people trying to fight me with aggressors actually have a little bit harder time. So I think that's actually what's happening a little bit. People fighting me with bruisers or aggressors actually have a little bit harder time. What is this troll defense? Three fire Leos. It actually might work out. Ooh, this guy's using a light Miho. Oh wait, no, that was all-time winners. This is the current winners. Alright, so a few really popular monsters obviously is the Light Odin, Light Shiva. A lot of people have those monsters because they are contract monsters. Well, this one's a contract monster, this one's a fusion monster, so they're actually technically obtainable. The Shiva is actually very obtainable because even if you can't summon more Shivas, you can just like fuse a second or third Shiva and then just feed it into him and make him Evo 3. But yeah, as I said before, the hard part is getting the variant Odin. Thor is actually very, very popular as well since they brought back Light Thor. I was actually unable to get a variant Thor last rebirth, so I won't be able to use a Light Thor. But yeah, a lot of people are running him now because he's got a defense lead, and he's actually one of the most threatening light monsters. When he gets his shock off on one of your dark monsters, it pretty much wins the fight in a lot of cases. If you're running an aggressor comp against him, maybe you can still live, but if you're running an attacker comp against him and he lands shock on one of your attackers, you basically lose at that point. For RGB monsters, the really popular ones are obviously Water Purse. A lot of people run Water Purse because Water Purse is able to heal for 10% of her HP every single turn, which means that like she's got a really nice passive heal. If you're running her with like defense-based monsters like, you know, Fire Shiva, I can't remember what Shiva does. I think he's balanced. Was he balanced? Or he might be a tank. Maybe he's a defender. But if you're running her with like a high defense monster, because she always heals for a flat amount, she's able to basically keep that monster alive a lot longer because their HP is lower, but their damage mitigation is higher. So it's still very hard to kill them. And she heals for a flat amount every single turn. So it just makes things a lot harder to kill. And the other one is Wood Valkyries have skill books now, so I guess she's a little bit stronger, but those skill books are super hard to get. So that's a little, yeah, not a lot of people have her like skilled up. She's basically, she heals on both her skills, and she's a balanced type monster. She hits relatively hard and is also very hard to kill, so a lot of people run her. Some people run Water Nightmare. The two nightmares that people run are either the water one or the wood one. I personally prefer the wood one because the wood nightmare, I actually do have the wood nightmare as well in my monster box. She's my only variant Nat 5. Actually, I do have another variant Nat 5, the Siegfried, but he doesn't really count because he's a clan battle monster, so he's not like a summonable monster. But yeah, Wood Nightmare, the reason why people run her is they run her if they have a Pugilist set. Pugilists give a chance to stun. You saw the Mihos in the last fight was able to stun me a few times because they were running Pugilist as well. I actually do have some Pugilist gems. I have another Miho with like a decent set of Pugilist that I haven't been able to take out or raise. I never felt the need to, but maybe if I'm like a bit more serious in PvP, then I might use that. The reason why you have her with Pugilist is she's really tanky, and she has a 30% morale boost. So she's able to morale boost up and then use her second skill, heal the whole team, and also have a chance to stun everybody. So that's actually why I really like the Wood Nightmare. The Water Nightmare is very similar. She has the same skill set, but instead of the morale boost, she has Seal. So without the Pugilist set, the Water Nightmare is stronger, but with the Pugilist set, I think the Wood Nightmare is a lot better. That's why a lot of people run them. And then there's also Water Arthur. People run him for the same reasons. And for Nat 4 monsters, the most popular monster is definitely the Wood Leo, because Wood Leo is very unique. A lot of people don't know why the Wood Leo is so strong. He actually has a lot of benefits. First of all, his skill set is decent. It's an attack down. It's a defense down, attack down on his two skills. He has skill books, which basically I think it can raise to 80%, which is very high. And he also has very good stats for a Nat 4. He has pretty much the perfect stats for a defense. Like, he has a perfect balance of HP and defense. Like, his stats are like in the sweet spot. The other thing is, you'll notice that sometimes monsters hit more. Monsters that hit, like, they hit more times. They have more hits. Like, when they do their first skill, you'll have monsters that do like 3 hits, 4 hits, 5 hits, 6 hits. I think the Leo does 5 hits on his first skill, and each hit generates a blue orb, which means that he's able to get his team their bar a lot faster. And a lot of times in PvP fights, it's about, you know, getting your bar full, and if you can get it up, then it's kind of GG. which is also why like dominance was so strong. I just cucked them the whole entire fight. Like they weren't able to heal or anything. But yeah, he's able to get his teammates bars up a little bit faster. He has a decent amount of attack, very low recovery, so he actually does pose a little bit of a threat at the same time. And he also has the HP lead that a lot of people like, so people like running with Leo. He's basically the most popular monster to run on arena defense for a 4-star. Alright, so I think we can try this team. I'll try it with an attacker comp. Alright, I'll try this team with an attacker comp. He's got the Wood Leo, as I mentioned before, Light Thor, very, very threatening. Dark Cupid, just extremely OP monster. Just nothing much I can say about Dark Cupid. He's just super OP. And Odin, I think Dark Cupid's probably the strongest Nat 4 Light Dark monster, in my opinion. I feel like he's stronger than a lot of Nat 5 Light Darks as well. He's just basically one of the strongest Light Dark monsters. Like if you happen to have him, it's GG easy. Like you can get to top 2 or 100 very, very easily if you have him, and just have like a decent gem set. Yeah, I'm gonna hit him with an attacker comp. And we'll see what happens. So a comp I really like running before. A lot of people run like 3 attackers. I personally like to run 2 support and 2 attackers. This is a comp that I used quite a lot back in the day. Nowadays, not so much because people like to counter these comps. But this one's a little bit harder to counter because instead of running for a lot of attackers, I'm running 2 support monsters. And I am also running a bar booster, which means I'm able to get my bars a lot faster than them. The Gatitos are morale boosters, and the Cura is a team morale booster, which means that the Gatito can boost 30% bar on first turn, and then she can boost a 10% bar on first turn, and then before they go on the second turn, she can boost another 10% bar. So that's actually a 50% bar boost, like after first turn. And like before their second turn, they already have a 50% bar boost. So if Blue Soul generation is not too bad, one of them will be able to get their skills off, basically one-shot anyone on turn 2, and that's kind of what I'm counting on. Now their comp is running 2 aggressors. These 2 will hit me very, very hard. They also have the Thor, which is very threatening. If he actually does hit one of my Gatitos and stuns them, it's pretty much GG. The other good thing about my comp is I'm running 4 dark monsters, so they might not always hit my Gatito. They might hit the Cura or the Cupid, so that's actually what I'm hoping for. The Leo doesn't really pose a threat for me because he kind of needs to ramp up a bit. He needs to land the armor break and then have people focus me. But if I'm able to get my bar on second turn, I can end the fight very, very fast. That's actually what I'm hoping for. Majority of people are running the monsters that they give for rebirth or events, so that's why there's a lot of dark attackers. There's so many dark attackers. Like even the new monster that's coming out, what's her name? Kiki? Yeah, she, like, even the dark one's a dark attacker, so it's just everyone's building light defenses to counter them. Basically all the event monsters, all the dark monsters are really strong dark attackers. Now for this comp, they don't really have any monster that has like a very threatening skill when they get their bar full. Cupid kind of counts because the shield is very, very OP, but my attackers are very, very strong that even if he does get the shield up, I can still melt whoever I need to kill. So I need to take out whoever is the highest threat. In this case, it's the Light Odin, so I'm going to have all 4 people focus on him. Alright, she is very tanky, so she actually lived through that. As you can see, one of my Gatitos actually got his bar full. I'm gonna hit the Odin. Let's see who pops out. Alright, it's a Miho. The Miho actually is probably the most threatening one, so I'm actually just gonna try to... Oh shit, she's actually quite tanky. Maybe I should have hit the Thor. Alright, my Gatito's gone. I'm gonna put up a shield, and I'm gonna see if I can kill this Miho on this turn. At the end of this video, I will show the gems of every single monster that I've used in this video. Just because everyone will probably ask. Alright, I have my shield up. These two are 0 threat now. I just want to... And basically he's also 0 threat because he actually doesn't do enough damage. So eventually I'm going to be able to kill the Dark Cupid. This turn I have my Gatito's bar full. And this Cupid is pretty much dead. Alright, I do have the defense down up. They're going to kill me to kill my Gatito next turn, which there's nothing I can do about. However, they have no more heals and I have 2 healers. So even if they kill my Gatito, it's already impossible for them to win. I want to see if I can save my Gatito so I can save myself some time. And I'm going to try to put up a shield, but he is armor broken and shocked, so I think he's actually dead. Ooh, okay, that still can't save him. And now he's really dead. That's unfortunate. However, they don't have any healers, so I will be able to, you know, wear them down. Is there a light monster with shock and heal? Oh, Cura. If this was a light Cura, I would still probably eventually kill her. It would just take forever. The draw button came out. That's funny. Alright, this might take a while, but you know, eventually you win. Man, I use too many like summonable light dark monsters. I have all the light dark luck in the world. I'll use some event monsters very soon. A lot of monsters that a lot of people have. The Seedler comp is still very, very strong if they're mostly using RGB monsters, but if they're using all light, then you're pretty fucked. Like, there's nothing you can do. It's pretty dangerous bringing that comp into a random fight because you don't know what you're up against. But if you're fighting like, what do you think? This comp, I might be able to Seedler. I'm thinking. Yeah, this comp I can definitely Seedler, I think. So, comps like this, I think, are weaker to full dark attackers because, like, they just get melted. Like, the dark attackers do so much damage to RGB monsters. Well, not RGB monsters, but any monsters in general. It doesn't have to be the Sealer. I can use Gatitos as well. I can use Dark Sarah. It's pretty much the same thing. But I think the Sealer comp is really strong if you pair them up together because their first skill is hits very, very hard, and it's very likely that you'll be able to kill one of their monsters on turn 1, which basically is like the win condition for you. Pretty much for any comps running full dark attackers, like the last one I ran before wasn't a full dark attacker comp. It had 2 supports, but if you're running like anything with like 3 dark attackers, even if you're only running 1 support, you have to kill something on turn 1. If you don't, then you're pretty fucked. So I'm gonna send these 2 at them. I was able to kill them on turn 1, which is pretty good. Now the Miho is highest threat, so I'm actually going to try to put some damage on her. I know she won't die because she's pretty tanky. Alright, took out one of my Stealers, which is fine. This should be able to kill the Miho. The Nightmare is about to get her AoE up. I'm going to put some damage on her. I think I should be able to kill her and the Shiva before they both get their AoEs up. Unless that happens. I think I'm fucked. I think it's GG. Oh shit, Shiva got her AoE up. Or his AoE up. Fuck, I should have killed the Shiva. Oh my god, that was that was so bad. I should have killed the Shiva. That was so bad. I don't know what I was thinking. That was so bad. Oh my god. All right, I think this comp can win. This comp can win against his comp. But at higher tiers, running all attackers is not that stable because you're leaving a lot of things onto RNG. Because if their monsters all focus one of your monsters, that monster's gonna die. So you don't want to leave it to luck. Ooh, this is gonna hurt. If they don't stun me, I think I win. I don't think Odin can beat Lat, even if she kills the Sealer. Because Lat has regen, self-regen. Yeah. See, it's still kind of risky, but you can win. If you make the right decisions against RGB comps, you'll win most of the time, but you won't win all the time, which makes the dark attacker comps not as reliable, in my opinion. If you try to hit this, like if you did a random battle and you ran into this with a dark attacker comp, you pretty much lost. It's really hard to kill so many light monsters, especially when the light monsters do so much damage to your dark monsters, and they can't even take a hit. But I think light defender comps are also, they might be somewhat vulnerable to light attacker comps. I have not tried this before, but I think do think they could be pretty vulnerable to a comp of full light attackers, and there are quite a few light attackers. There's the Fenix right now are like pretty strong light attackers. There's the D'Artagnans from before are pretty strong. The Sarahs that I have, the light Birdie. The light, what's the other one? Light Jack. Light Jack was also a monster from a previous event. So there's a lot of light attackers that a lot of people are running right now. If you're super new, like you don't have a lot of these monsters, but they're always releasing new ones. Like this month, they're releasing the Kiki, and the Dark Kiki is a very strong, like she's a pretty strong dark attacker. So you know, you'll be able to get something that you can use. In this scenario, she's actually quite annoying. I don't want her to stun any of me, so I'm just gonna hit her. Oh shit, she's so tanky. Okay, I think I'm fucked. Yeah, I'm definitely fucked. I should have comboed that. 2-turn stun. Holy shit. And now you guys crit. I have all four of these on Pugilist. Oh shit, that Shiva does so much damage. Holy shit. Alright, I can't do this. I thought I'd be able to live because they're light and not dark. But he just does so much. Shiva does so much damage. Alright, Shiva does so much damage. Shiva does way too much damage. Oh my god, I thought I could tank that. Okay, that's impossible. Like don't fight them with attacker comps. It's not gonna work. Aggressors are probably the best thing you can do if you really want to fight them. I normally, like, when you're at this point in the game, like when you're at this stage of PvP, it's like you pretty much have to go in with your defense team if you want things to be stable, if you really want to win, because leaving anything up to RNG can pretty much fuck you over, especially when they're running a lot of stuns and stuff, and especially if you're attackers, because they rely on crit. A lot of dark attackers rely on crit. Their resistance isn't as high. So sometimes one stun, one shock can basically make you lose the fight. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of resist. I think that's the problem. On some of my monsters, they don't have a lot of resistance. Do I have any full attack light monsters? I have to spark it, but that's actually not going to work. Wait, let's try a light aggressor comp. But my Victorias don't have a lot of resistance. I'm going to have to do something like this. I don't think I need that much heal. I just need to boost their resistance up a little bit higher. I think I'll use Shiva. I think light aggressors can also work as well, because if they're running light and you're running light and you can focus one unit, you can still kill them relatively fast. The unfortunate thing is my resistance on a lot of these units aren't very high, so that's a little bit of a problem. Wait, this one's red, but it's a Dark Miho, right? Yeah, it's a Dark Miho. It just has the red costume. Alright, so they're using the Odin Lee to boost everybody's HP up a little bit higher. Thor's gonna shock. Usually if you have high resistance, he's not much of a threat. Dark Miho actually hits pretty hard. You don't want the Shiva to get a full bar, so what we're gonna do is we're going to whack his face. That didn't do a lot of damage. Sorry, you have a Shiva, I have a Shiva too. Let's see who gets their bar full first. Probably me, because I go first. Oh my god, alright, that was not good. Right, that did no damage. I think that my nightmare is pretty fucked. Oh shit. He's gonna get his nuke off. Please, Nightmare, don't die. What the heck? My Nike died. Alright, that was horrible. I'm sad. I should have just killed this Miho. What am I thinking? Why am I still trying to kill his Shiva? Now Shiva's too tanky, alright? I made a mistake. I made a mistake. Light attackers don't have that much damage. Unless I can get this to crit. And I might be able to kill him. Okay, that crit, but that still didn't kill him. I should have just killed this dark, I should have just killed all his dark monsters. I would have won this. Instead of trying to kill that Shiva that kept healing himself. I don't know what I was thinking, alright? I really don't. I have no experience running a team like this. We'll try this again. We'll try this again. This time I'll win. I promise. Live. Please hit the Shiva. Don't hit the Nightmare. Ah, she's dead. You know, this Odin has no heal. Alright, I think something really dumb's about to happen. Do you know what it is? Do you know what's about to happen? Alright. I think you guys have guessed what's about to happen. Alright, let's see what happens when she lands defense down on me. Ooh, that's a lot of damage. Not really. Oh, okay. We're in a endless loop. We're just the two Shivas are just gonna be zapping each other over and over until the end of time. This will never end. That was pretty funny. The Nikes weren't tanky enough. It's unfortunate, especially with the defense down monster. But I think I can win that. I just have to use the light advantage against dark, kill his dark units first, and then I kill the Shiva. No, and then I kill everybody, and then I kill the Shiva because I can tank his Shiva's hit. So we should just be killing the Miho and the Odin first. Yeah, he's got a Dark Odin, another Evil 3 Fire Odin. Alright, I just need her to survive. I think she might be dead. Alright, never mind. We're good. We'll just all do our nukes. Yes! That Pugilist landed on her. I think I win. Alright, we'll just kill this Thor. He's getting a little bit annoying with his shock. He has a lot better gems on his team because these units don't have like, well, the Nikes, they don't have a lot of really good gems. I think light aggressor comps can work. Light aggressor comps can definitely work. There's a few. There's the Nike that you can get for free. Light Shiva, light Odin. Yeah, basically what people are running on defense right now. You run that for offense. Should be really stable. Also very slow. A lot slower than running dark comps. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of RGB monsters because most of my RGB monsters are farmers. They're PvE monsters. In PvP, Light Dark has a pretty big advantage, which is why if you take a look at everybody in the top 100, it's just all Light Dark, with very, very few RGB like these. Most of them has at least one Light Dark monster. Some of them has full Light Dark, some of them has, you know, 3 with like 1 like RGB monster. Everything is nearly almost all Light Dark. The main reason is they don't have any elemental disadvantage against any element, and Light Dark monsters also have bonus stats. Like the dark ones have bonus crit, and the light monsters are used just to counter the dark monsters that are like everywhere in offense. So that's why most people are running Light Dark monsters. but we might be able to. Well, this one has a lot of, but he's only level 51. It used to be a lot more RGB, but now it's all light, all dark. Like, look at this. Or this. Wait, isn't this Derp Turtle? I see a light monkey. Yeah, you kind of have to do this at this point. But yeah, that's pretty much what top 100 is like right now. Now, if you go down a few divisions, there are some monsters that actually become a lot more viable, mainly due to either players not having all the monsters that they need to be super OP, or they might not have the gems. They don't have like the quality of gems that is required to be super OP. So, for example, if you're slightly lower tier, you might see some monsters, a lot more monsters with CC or debuffs. You still see them sometimes at like the higher tiers, but usually those monsters are used for another purpose. So a good example is like Fire Odin. You saw her sometimes, like you saw her in the last fight. She was actually used. A lot of people use her because she actually has the best leader skill for PvP. Her leader skill goes up to 45% for Arena or Astromon League. And yeah, that basically just outclasses everything else. So a lot of people just simply run her for that reason. And out of all the Odins, she's actually the most useful one for defense. So a lot of people run her if they have her as a variant. But some people, like if they have a variant light Odin, they would definitely run the variant light Odin instead. You see a lot more of these because the light Odin's an aggressor, which counters a lot of the dark attackers that are super popular. See Fire Arthur sometimes. Fire Arthur is also another debuffer. He's got a very, very strong stun, 100% chance to stun, and the defense down is kind of okay. He's got very, very good stats. Well, actually, they're not super good, but you know, it's like Nat 5 stats, and he's pretty tanky for an attacker. So a lot of people just gem him defensively and kind of use him for defense. Another monster you'll see is Water Purse. I mentioned before, a lot of people use her for the healing. Mostly Nat 5s. Sometimes you'll see certain Nat 4s on defense. Mostly Leos. Bit lower tier is like the Granitus. Some people run him simply for the HP lead. If they don't have a better HP lead, they just run him. But there's quite a few monsters with HP lead. So, wait, who are all the monsters? There's Succubus with the HP lead. There's Cupid with the HP lead. If you don't have an HP lead, you can run a defense lead as well. So since Thor is back on Rebirth, a lot of people are running Thor. Mostly light Thor, because you know he is a light monster, which counters all the dark monsters. Another monster that you see sometimes, an alternative to Wood Leo, is actually the Wood Loki, who also has skill books. And he kind of does the same thing. He basically does the same thing as Wood Leo, but instead of a HP lead, he has a defense lead. Where is he? He also has a sleep on his second skill. If it does land, it's actually quite annoying. His thing can be upgraded to 80%, which is as good as the Leo. He's also got very, very nice stats, comparable to the Leo. But the Leo, I think, actually has a little bit better stats. His HP is a little bit too low for it to be like as efficient, but still pretty good. So sometimes you'll see the Wood Banshee. She can also be used for defense for her leader skill, but she is an attacker. But you can still build her defensively because her HP is pretty high. It's not too bad, and her recovery is low, so she actually has pretty nice stat distribution for an attacker. And you can just build her tanky and use her for defense. You can use her for defense with HP or defense aggressors, because HP aggressors with defense lead can actually have higher effective HP. Although I prefer to have HP aggressors with the HP lead just so they can just do more damage. Because you want them to have like very, very high threat. The Miho is a monster that a lot of people run because she was rebirthed for like twice, and she was also this fusion in one of the events. So a lot of people have this monster and multiples of her, and also use multiples of her. You know, there's a monster that I was thinking of building, and I don't see a lot of people using her. I was thinking the Light Yeti could actually be pretty good, but she actually requires like Pugilist gems. If you have her with like all Pugilists, it can actually be pretty threatening, because she also has a morale boost and a shock. So when she gets her bar full, she just shocks and stuns with Pugilist and basically wins the game. Yeah, the Kikis are out. They're super cute. I mentioned before that she's going to be the new monster. She will be released very soon, and she's also a adrenaline predator monster, so she's kind of like the Dark Lat, actually. Yeah, she's very, very similar to the Dark Lat. I was running the Dark Lat in offense before with a Seedler comp for his attack lead. Kikis also have a attack lead, but only in the tower, so not really useful for PvP. But if you can get multiples of her and run her with an attack lead, she can actually be pretty good. But yeah, that's pretty much it for setting up a defense. The way you wanna set up a defense is you wanna think about what you want to do against them. The best types of defense are light monsters, but if you don't have them or don't want to use them, you can. Well, actually, light dark are the strongest, but there are a few RGB monsters that are very, very good. If you're missing specific monsters, you can use replacements. So that, as I mentioned before, if you want to build a team similar to this, for example, or similar to anything here, for example, it's not going to be as efficient, but you follow the same philosophy. So, for example, team like this, you don't have the Light Odin as a leader. What you can do is you can put in maybe a Wood Leo for HP lead, and then you should probably still grab the Light Odin because she is a contract monster. So a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but most people do have her. You get her at level 45, and you can put her on like the second slot, for example. And then the Shiva is a fusible monster, so you can have access to the Shiva. And then you can throw in another light monster. If you were here for the previous event, you might have. Well, actually, the Thor is currently on Rebirth. So if you have like a light Thor this month, you can put him as the 4th. And then for your hidden monster, you can put in either an RGB monster, a dark monster, or you can even just put in your Light Victoria. You can put in your Light Victoria as the 4th. So basically, like, it's nearly all the tools are given to you for free. The Shiva is fusible. The Odin is a contract monster. The Victoria is given to you for free. And then for a 4th monster, either use a event monster or you can use one of the RGB monsters. So if you have like a Water Arthur, if you have a Wood Nightmare, you can use those. If you happen to have a Dark Miho, definitely use Dark Miho, because Dark Miho is super, super strong. But yeah, there's quite a lot of monsters. It depends on what you have and what you can use. See the Light Siren for the defense lead. You can switch a lot of these things up. Basically, you want the leader skill to be either an HP lead or a defense lead. You can see every single defense is an HP lead or a defense lead. Or actually, some of them have a resist lead. But I really don't think you should be using a resist lead. You should have good enough gems to not use a resist lead at this level. But if you really need to, you can also use a resist lead. if your gems aren't as good. Resist will help you quite a lot, especially early on. If you're a very new player and you have like a variant Miho, you can actually use her as leader for the resist lead and then boost everyone's resistance up a lot higher. And then this way they're less likely to get debuffed, and you can well, this super evolved Miho isn't a variant. I've never seen one that's not a variant. But you can use the resist lead to stop your other monsters from getting debuffed as much, and then you can run like the same types of monsters like aggressors or whatever. There's a few monsters that were aggressors from previous rebirths, like the Dark Birdie, the Dark Miho, and the Light Seedler, who was also a previous rebirth, pretty recent, not too long ago, so a lot of people do have him. Yeah, even this works. Dark Phibian. 3 Dark Phibians. And then when you get lower, you like, this is the first crit lead you see. Crit lead and attack lead. When you get lower, you start seeing them. But most of the time, you don't need, like, you can use them, but I would say HP and defense lead are probably the best. But if you don't have them, you can obviously still use something else to boost your team stats up a little bit. But yeah, pretty much anyone like from here to like all the way here is like using a HP or defense lead, and a few people are using a resist lead. But yeah, that is pretty much it. That is it for. Right, I think I saw something really funny. Oh no, that's their current rank. Never mind. Thought it was showing last week's rank. That'd be pretty funny if it was showing last week's rank. Anyways, that's pretty much it. You wanna replace monsters with the ones that you have, and if you're super new, you should really only worry about PvP after you can reliably do Golem's B10, because if you try to PvP before then, one, you're not going to have the gems, two, you're going to be investing too much resources into it that you're not going to be progressing. So you don't really need to worry too much about PvP. Just make sure you go in and get your weekly gleam, and that's pretty much it. But if you're at the point where you finished up golems and you want to do PvP for a little bit more Astro Gems, I think this will be somewhat helpful. The first number one thing you want to do is have high resistance on almost all your units. You can see on most of my units, this one's max resist. This one's very close to max resist, but only because I wanted to boost her crit rate up a little bit. I think my Cupid isn't max resist. My Cupid is 77, which is very close to max resist as well. Where is it? My Siren is also max resist. The C-Star that I would run as my last unit for defense is on a Pugilist set, and also very close to max resist. So resist is like number one. If you want to start building your PvP team, the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure everybody has high resist. If you really can't push that resist up, use a resist leader. The easiest thing to use is like any of the Mihos, because the Mihos give at rank 6 give 20% resist lead. So, and Mihos are farmable, so it's, if you do a lot of story farming, you're going to come across one with a level 6 lead eventually. So you'll be able to get 20% resist for free. And then if you're using RGB monsters, they already have 20. Light Dark monsters also have higher gem requirements because it's harder to get resist for these monsters. So you might not necessarily want to use them, but if you do use them, I think you should just, before you worry about any other stats, just boost their resist as high as you possibly can without the use of a resist main slot gem, or like a main gem that has like resist as the main stat. without the use of that boost the resist up as high as you can. The reason why you don't want to do that is because I think a resist gem, when you max it out, it actually gives too much, that it goes over the cap. And resist is also really easy to get because the highest roll is 9% compared to a lot of the other stats. So if you're using a main resist gem, you're losing out on a lot of stats, which is not really not good for PvP, because if your HP and everything is too low, you're just gonna get one shot. But yeah, that is pretty much it. Now I wanted to show, I think I have to show all the gems of every single unit that I used. This Sarah team is really troll. They don't have any good gems. It's not really worth bothering. Just know that they have like either 1 HP or 1 defense pugilist gem, and they're all on pugilist set. I just kind of made them to troll. This Nike had no resist. I only used her for farming. She wasn't meant for PvP. I just wanted to kind of try her out. Swin Nightmare, you saw her gems before. It's basically HP. She just heals a lot because her heals based off HP. And then make sure I don't miss anyone. Did I use the Coco? No, I didn't use the Coco. Didn't use the Siren. 2 Dark Mihos. This one, they're both crit double HP. One is on Intuition, one is on a Conviction. The Stealers are all 100% crit. One is on a broken set, the other 2 are on Intuition. Double attack crit. He is also double attack crit, 100% crit. If you're running dark attackers for PvP offense, you want to always have 100% crit, because they have to be able to kill something on turn 1. If you don't, you fail and you lose. That's pretty much it. You don't always lose, but like 90% of the time you're gonna lose. So you want to make sure they always crit. This one only has 99%, but you know, only 1 out of every 100 fights will I lose, so it's good enough. Dark Kira, she actually doesn't have her gem maxed out. Her gems aren't really important. I just use her for the bar boost. I have her on HP double attack. It's because she doesn't really need that much HP. She's really tanky, and also she's the highest. She's the highest attack healer in the game. Like she's the healer in the game that has the highest attack. Out of any healer in the game, she has the highest attack. So if you give her a double attack, she actually does a decent amount of damage. Dark Siren is a HP defense HP Conviction. Max resist. Nothing else really, just max resist. That's the third Miho. I don't use her. Dark Cupid is triple HP. Almost max resist, but I use the life set, so it's kind of alright. Dark Sea Star, I kept her on defense. I didn't use her in the video, but you saw her on my defense. She's my hidden monster. She's on a pugilist set with just godly substats. Like, this is pretty sick. Like, this one's got 24%. This one's got 13% crit. And then this one's got a 31% with a 1 crit rate and an HP roll, so pretty nice. Sarah's are all on troll gems. The Shiva is on an HP set with a as much resist as I could. It didn't matter that much that his resist wasn't super high, because a lot of times people are going to be hitting him with attackers. They might try to debuff him. If they go in with an armor breaker and try to attack him, it might be easier to kill. But his HP pool is very, very high, and his defense isn't even that high. So even if you armor break him, it doesn't matter that much. So that's why I didn't worry too much about getting his resist up like super high. But I still tried my best to get his resist up with as much HP as I can, because I wanted to use the life set with triple HP, so his nuke can hit as hard as possible. So Victoria actually has a decent amount of resist, 58% on a protection set, so that's actually pretty nice. Gatito is on a ruins. This one's my good one. He's on a ruin set, 100% crit double attack. As you can see, 80%. I think one of the crit rate gems. One of the crit rate gems has 21% crit damage. And this one also has 7% crit damage, and then this one I think has 12% crit damage. So he's on a ruin set with another 80% crit damage from substats with 100% crit. Like he's a god. All right, this is sick. Like this is disgusting. But yeah, if they ever give him skill books, like it's gonna be ridiculous. But yeah, kind of rely on his gems a bit to win my fights. If your Gatito's gems aren't like super good, or if you're any dark attacker, like you might be running the Kiki next month or something, his gems aren't super good, it might not work as well. But yeah, that is pretty much it. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of RGB monsters because most of my monsters are from previous events. So if you miss them, you might not have them. But there are definitely replacements because any dark attacker can pretty much replace the other one, depending on your team comp. If you're using like just dark attackers for damage, any one of them can be replaced. If you're using them for like morale boosting or something like that, then they have to be a dark attacker with a morale boost on first skill. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I thought that was pretty fun. That was actually pretty fun. Like going into PvP fights and just kind of planning it out, knowing exactly what's going to happen and encountering it. Yes, encountering it. But anyways, that's pretty much it for this video. It probably isn't helpful to everyone, but if it should at least still give you guys some knowledge on how to make a PvP comp. If you're super new to the game, don't bother because you're going to be wasting too much resources building teams for PvP when you can use those same resources to put into your golems team and progress faster and have better gems. And then if you have better gems, you can PvP a lot better as well. So you know, it's not all just about monsters, it's also about gems, because a lot of the monsters that you see them use are actually given to you, like they're obtainable monsters. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.